We all dream, every night, 4 or 5 times. Our dreams fascinate and intrigue us, but most of them are forgotten. And the few we do remember seem strange and confusing.
Welcome to the way of the dream. I'm sure that you have a special interest in dreams. A special interest perhaps in Carl Jung's and Marie-Louise von Franz's understanding of dreams. And if that is so, we are setting off on a journey that you will never forget. We are going to move into a realm that I have known for many, many years. Watching these episodes, I find myself repeatedly thinking, that's it. I got it. I finally got what that dream is about. Some light is shining deep into some dark corner of my unconscious. And after 20 years, I am ready to hear it. Body, mind, and soul. That is the experience that you are going to find as you listen. Where you are in your journey will determine what is challenging you most. Some people think that dreams are a pile of images, bizarre images. Other people find the images numinous, divinely enshrouded. They want to put them into music, or poetry, or dance. And others spend a half an hour a day with their dream journal, trying to understand what the unconscious is telling them about consciousness. They may believe that there is a spiritual guide in the dreams, because the dreams are the language of the soul. The symbol is carrying a spiritual message in the sensual imagery. If we believe that, then the dream becomes the water of life, which is what Jung called it. Without that nurturing, we are in a desert without water. We are like T.S. Eliot's people in the wasteland, headpieces stuffed with straw. The unconscious unable to contact consciousness. And now, we're ready to head for dreamland.
I very much regret to say that I hardly ever have any dreams.
Could you tell us a dream?
I honestly don't remember any.
I don't dream. Never. No. If I do, I don't remember them anyway. There's no such thing. No such thing. No.
I couldn't tell you much about dreams. They're a mystery to me.
Oh no, I can't tell anybody. I get in trouble and leak out.
No, isn't that funny? Because I've just been reading about the times there. What a load of rubbish. The funny things they say about you having dreams.
I'll usually forget them.
I don't go to bed every night thinking, oh, am I going to have a dream tonight? Goody.
Well, actually, I haven't had a good one in years.
Dreams? I don't dream that.
You dream about a project, I better get a wet dream.
I don't dream. Yes, the thing.
My dreams.
Oh my God.
They are important. Yes, I think so.
Why are they important?
I think, sometimes you think about different things during the day, and so I think it doesn't come out. So it's very good when it does come out during night.
From my experience, sometimes dreams can be just a result of having had too much for dinner.
Well, there must be some reason for them. I don't know what they do. I have dreams every night. I dream every night, but I don't know what. I can't associate any significance with them.
Sometimes remember frightening ones when you're being chased or something like that. I used to have nightmares when I was small, but not anymore. I mean, they're just sort of, visions.
Sometimes when I'm very ill, I get peculiarly baroque dreams, or sort of gothic horror stories. They're normally quite frightening, but after a while I got so used to them, they don't worry me anymore.
I guess the dreams that stand out the most in my mind are the bad dreams.
No, I don't have any.
You think they're important?
No, I don't think so, no.
Thank you.
Well, I've thought about them, I read a lot about them. I consider they're just arbitrary. They have absolutely no meaning. They're just caused by things that have occurred to you in the past few weeks from your distant past.
Well, I guess I'm getting past dreams.
They're amusing to think of, but I wouldn't place any great significance on them.
Well, anybody that's figured out what exactly they might mean, you know, but they probably mean something.
Do you think they're important?
I don't know. It said they are. But whether they are or not, I wouldn't like to say.
Do you remember any?
Can't say I do offhand.
You guys got to be crazy. Why would anybody be doing a documentary on dreams? I can't put any significance with them.
I certainly do, like everyone does, but I do not remember my dreams.
Not often. Not often.
I very much
forget them in the morning.
I hardly ever have them.
I don't believe that it's important for my life what I'm dreaming in the night. I don't believe that.
I've even dreamt I was dancing with Humphrey Bogart when he hadn't got a stitch on. How about that?
Dr. Marie-Louise von Franz is an analytical psychologist who worked directly with C.G. Jung for over 30 years. Here in this consulting room, people from all over the world have brought her dreams to be analyzed. And for the series, we film people telling their dreams. And Dr. von Franz will interpret these dreams in relation to the lives of the individual dreamers. Dr. von Franz, how long have you been studying dreams?
Well, I think about now 30 years approximately. I have figured out that I have interpreted approximately something like 65,000 dreams. That's a minimum.
And probably you've asked yourself a question that's often puzzled me. When I go to sleep, I enter a void. I don't exist. And when I dream, some power takes me over and makes me undergo some experience that I don't initiate myself. What's the power? Who makes up the dreams?
That is the most mysterious thing of all. Who makes the dreams? There is still a naive prejudice among many people that dreams are express our own wishes or our own schemes or plots. But the longer one looks at them, the more one sees that cannot be true. Too many dreams represent what we hate hearing.
I have nightmares, not dreams, nightmares. One time I jumped out of bed about 2 feet. I landed on my butt on the floor.
I always had this one recurring dream when I was little.
Tell us.
Yeah, it's a dream that I got rolled up in a window shade and my head's sticking out one end. It's not funny, my feet are at the other end and it's falling and falling and falling. And I can't scream, I have no voice. And right as I almost hit the floor, I wake up.
The basis from which dreams originate seem to be rather, let's call it with a vague expression, nature. Nature itself. It's a natural phenomenon. We take dream like being like a tree or a wild pig or something. We cannot say what makes a wild pig. Well, if we believe in God, then we'll say God makes the wild pigs. But about that, it is that unknown power or mysterious force which makes all existence. The best perhaps is to call it with a vague expression, the Godhead or nature, which in such a vague sense that we don't pin it down to anything special, because we just don't know. The only thing by observing dreams for a long time is that we see it has a superior intelligence in it. Perhaps you have seen that in some of the dreams, the wisdom and the intelligence and the guiding cleverness with which dreams lead us. They show us where we are wrong, they show us where we are unadapted, they warn us from danger, they predict some future events in our life, they they hint at the deeper meaning of our life. They convey to us illuminating insights.
I remember the ones that make me most comfortable. I'm sure there's a lot that I have that I block out. If you want to remember a dream, you have to write it down immediately when you wake up. And they'll tell you a lot about how you really feel.
I have children, and sometimes I'll dream about my kids getting lost, you know, and then I get real frantic in my dreams. I have a bad dream. But then when I try to tell myself, you know, figure out why I had that dream, sometimes it's because I feel guilty for not spending enough time with them and they're home supervising themselves. And so it's kind of making me like my conscience coming to life, you know, making me aware of what I was subconsciously thinking of throughout the day.
Dreams are compensation, and I suppose useful if you can remember them in finding out what kind of games you're playing with yourself, and then you can do something about it. And that's how I see dreams.
The dreams cannot prevent us from the vicissitudes and illness and sad events of human existence, but they seem to be able to give us a guiding line how to cope with them and how to find a meaning in our life and how to fulfill our own destiny, how to follow our own star, to realize our greater potential of life within us.
Dr. von Franz, how did you first become interested in the study of dreams?
When I met Jung first, he explained something about a case he had who had a vision, and he interpreted the vision of that woman. And that gave me the shock-like realization that for him inner events like visions or dreams were the reality. They were a reality as real as the outer, what we call the outer reality. And that was a great revelation and a great shock to me. And then I went and read the books of Jung, and there I saw the importance he gave to dreams, and I felt I could never really judge if what he was saying was true or not true, or right or not right, if I wouldn't go through an analysis myself. So I took my whole courage in my hands and asked him if I could have an analysis with him, and he agreed to that. And then every dream interpretation was a revelation. I seem to have, according to Jung, especially difficult and complicated dreams, so I never understood a word of my own dreams. They were just Chinese puzzling nonsense. And I always arrived with that Chinese puzzling nonsense to Jung, and he, with a big effort, unfolded the whole meaning of it. Sometimes he took a handkerchief and wiped his head and said, "What would you do if you hadn't a Jung to get through that complicated dream?" And it was always a surprising revelation, and that lasted on as long as I worked with him. Later, when he got old, I didn't tell him so many dreams anymore because I saw that it tired him. Dream interpretation is a real physical effort. It's not just a mental exercise. And therefore, later I tried to cope with it as well as I could myself. But first, the first years of my analysis, the work mostly consisted in unraveling those Chinese messages of the night. And I always remember going there in a tense, nervous, often depressed mood, and always coming back after the hour with the feeling of, now I know, now I see where the whole thing is going.
Mm-hmm. Many of the people we talk to were interested in their dreams and would like to know what they mean, but very few go into psychoanalysis. Do you feel that dream interpretation is so difficult that it's only accessible to an elite?
Yes, I think it's like with all sciences. It will be only an elite which will go into all the intricacies and the scientific complications of the dream interpretation and its question. It's a profession, and it needs professional skill, and the man in the street cannot pick it up and know it as well. But like all sciences too, certain rules of the thumb, certain generalities can be spread to the general public. And also I would say it is already very helpful for people who don't want to go into analysis and who don't want to plunge into that complicated scientific dream interpretation problem to watch their dreams, because among 20 unintelligible dreams, there are always from time to time very simple dreams, which everybody can see at once. The unconscious is a great, among other things, a great joker, a great jester. And from time to time it tells people just write out bang, so that while you write the dream down you just explode with laughter and you know what it is. Just the other day I was very ill and revolting against my illness, and I dreamt that I was in a festival to let old soldiers home from military service, and they handed in their carpenter's tool, and I saw that they were terribly old, they were 100 years old, and somebody said into my ear, yes, they have kept those people much too long in active service. Now, you don't need to pay an analyst to understand that dream. I've at once reduced my work drastically.
I was back visiting some people in Illinois, and I was thinking about a girlfriend that I had. And that night I was laying in bed, and I had a dream that I was on the same beach. I was throwing these rocks in the water, and a hand grabbed me from behind and said, "Don't ever let go of the things you love." And I was thinking about all the things, how I'd cope with it if I didn't have it. I turned around, it was gone. I opened up my hand, and there was a picture of my girlfriend in my hand. And it really got me to thinking that I shouldn't give up on it so quick, and I haven't. So that was about the most influential dream I had.
But many of our dreams are not obvious. I've had dreams that I was sure I understood, but after I worked on them, I was shocked to see I'd tricked myself.
That's why one should in general not interpret one's own dreams, because our dreams generally point to our blind spot. And they never tell us what we know, they always tell us what we don't know. But people tend, when they interpret their own dreams, to say, yes, I know what that means, and then they project what they know already into the dream. Oh, that's my problem, so and so and so and so. I have often even patients who do that. They come in and they say, I have a dream, but I know what it means. They don't want to hear what I say. They say, I know what it means. And then they give a completely banal explanation of something they know already long ago about themselves. And then I always say, wait, let's take the dream as it is, slowly, with beginning to end. And then it always comes out quite differently and surprisingly. So to interpret one's own dream is very, very difficult. That's why Jung advised even Jungian analysts to from time to time go to colleagues and exchange their views of dreams, to not go on lonely always interpreting their own dreams. And Jung even himself, he always complained bitterly, I have no Jung to interpret my dreams, he said. And so he used his own pupils and told his dreams. Because even when you tell it, and even if the other says something stupid, it might you get another slant on it, and then you are more objective about it. I always say you can't see your own, everybody can see your back if you show it to the other person, but you can't see your own back. That's the trouble, and the dreams point to your own back, to what you don't see. And you have to, so to speak, stand on your head to understand your own dreams. That's the great difficulty. And that causes so many errors, because people always say, oh, I know what that means. I had a schizophrenic patient, she came always with a ready-made interpretation. And it was always a complete banal outer nonsense. She took it out of such kitchen dream books. Oh, it means that I'll get some money, or it means I'll get that job, or I won't get that job, and so on. And the dreams had nothing to do with it.
But if it's so beneficial to look behind your own back, then why is it that so many people resist taking the dream world seriously?
The unconscious itself can devour the human being. The dream world That is why the dream world has not... We now are discovering that the dream world is the most beneficent thing on earth, and that attending one's dream is the healthiest thing one can do. But why then has mankind also always been afraid of the dream world? There is a good reason for this. The dream world can also devour us by the way of daydreaming, of spinning neurotic fantasies, or by spinning, chasing unrealistic ideas. You have only to go into a lunatic asylum to see the victims of the dream world. One is living in the dream that he's Napoleon sitting for 20 years like that in an asylum. Another, when you begin to talk to him, tells you confidently that he's really Jesus Christ, but nobody seems to understand him, and so on. They have been swallowed by the dream world. And that's why the devouring, when we speak of the devouring unconscious or the devouring mother, it is that dangerous aspect of the dream world. The dream world is only beneficent and healing if we have a dialogue with this, but we are in actual life. We must not forget living. The actual real life and the duties of actual real living must not be neglected. As soon as one begins to neglect outer life, one's own body, eating, doing one's ordinary job and so on, then the dream world becomes dangerous. It can suck us away from reality and spin us into some neurotic or even psychotic unreality, into a fantasy world which is not constructive. So the dream world is only positive if it is in a living dialogue and in balance with a actually lived life.
We've talked about the positive effect of dreams and their power to transform people's lives. Have you had dreams yourself which changed the course of your life?
Yes, I had many dreams which changed my life and which I experienced as a great revelation which changed the course of my life. But I had really only one dream which I think is the biggest dream of my life, and that dream I dreamt between having met Jung and between having asked him for analysis. When I was still 18, and in the Christmas night I had a big, what Jung would call an archetypal dream, a religious dream, and that I consider still today the biggest dream of my life. But it is a very long mythological descent in the underworld. One could sum it up as a descent into Hades in the underworld and in finding the mystical water of alchemy and discovering that and coming back with it, a kind of shamanistic journey into the underworld and into the land of death. And that I consider the biggest dream I ever had. I woke up deeply shaken. I was so shaken that I couldn't get up for a few hours. I had to stay in bed shivering till I had the courage to get up and put my clothes on again. And I told that dream Jung, but he never interpreted it to me. He only said, I knew you had something to do with alchemy. Just when I met you, I knew that was so, and now we see. And so that laid the basis of my collaboration with Jung on the symbolism of alchemy.
Excuse me, we're doing a documentary film on dreams.
You gotta be kidding.
No.
On dreams?
On dreams, yeah. What do you think about dreams?
What do I think about dreams? I think they're nice.
You think you pay attention to your own dreams?
What do you mean, do I pay attention to them?
Do you remember any of your dreams?
Oh, sure.
Why?
Why do I remember them?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why do you remember that you go to sleep and you wake up?
Can you recall them?
What do you mean? Well, sure.
Tell us one.
Oh, excuse me. You have the usual flying dreams, I suppose. For some reason or the other, every once in a while I find myself flying around in an Edsel. Don't ask me why. Now, you make an Edsel. I can't help it. You guys got to be crazy. Why would anybody be doing a documentary on dreams?
Tell us about the Edsel. How well does the Edsel fly?
That's great. It's great. The only thing is, when you're flying, you have to be sure that you keep on thinking about flying, because if you don't, the thing comes down.
Did it ever crash on you?
Oh no, just sort of floats down. You know, Edsels.
Thanks very much.
Enjoy it, gentlemen. You really are crazy.